Hey guys, thank you for joining my first official YouTube video. As I stated a couple weeks ago, that I would talk about my investments over the years. And my first investment, and actually has been the longest investment, has been Bitcoin. So, as you guys know, I'm a big storyteller, and so I decided to kick it off with how I learned about Bitcoin. And then after this video, I'm going to go through more fundamentals and technical analysis around Bitcoin. But really, this video is about my Bitcoin story. So first started about, you know, 3.5 years ago, late 2017. I was listening to a podcast called Millennial Money Minutes. And in that podcast, there was a gentleman who um, invested $5,000 into Bitcoin when it was $34 and made a millions. And I had never even heard of Bitcoin before. And I remember doing some research, and just like everybody else, I went on Netflix and saw a Bitcoin movie, watched it, changed my life. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Why hasn't a lot of people heard about this? So ended up, doing some more research on it, and I was actually referring it to friends about, hey, maybe you guys should get into Bitcoin, and nobody had ever heard of it except one person actually. My partner Darian Starling from Roadrunners Unfiltered, he was already invested in some Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ripple at the time. So you know, once I knew that one person was invested, I was like, man, though I gotta get into this thing as well. And so I did. I invested it about $300, and this is something I also wanted to state is a lot of people think that you need a whole Bitcoin. Well, you don't need a whole Bitcoin. You can put in $300, $400, $50, $100. A whole Bitcoin right now is $50,000. Uh, there aren't going to be many people that can afford a whole Bitcoin. So, invest a portion in it. Invest small amounts, dollar cost average. Where you can buy the highs and the lows of the market. Anyways, we'll talk about more of that, the fundamentals, in another video. But to continue my story, I put $300 in. At the time, the price was $16,000, and it went up 10%. Made $30 in 1 week. The next week, I put another $300. Went up another 10%, made $60. And I was like, man, this thing just keeps on going up. So I put another $600 in, and it just kept on going up as well. And this was about mid-January. And then all of a sudden, just boom, just dropped like a hammer. And that price went dramatically down from 20,000 back to 15,000, 14, 13 real quick in the matter of weeks. And I didn't quite understand what was happening. And the bottom line is that the bull market was over. Now, another thing to note was, and just another thing to note is we're currently in a bull market, but for Bitcoin. But another thing to note is about 3.5 years ago, there was a lot of retail investors. And what I mean by retail investors are people like you and I, not no banks, not no institutions, not no big Elon Musk or any big guys that were in Bitcoin. It was really just the small guys. And so, when that 20,000 mark was hit, there was a lot of people who made a lot of money who put in, a couple $100 worth over time. And so, you saw a huge decline, a huge correction. And so I took my money out. I did lose a couple $100, but what I did that year was kind of step back, and because I kind of felt like I just sort of gambled it, right? I just kind of put money in it, and it just kept on going, and then boom, it just went down. But I didn't quite understand why it was so volatile. So that year, I did a lot of research. I looked in Reddit, I looked in Google News, YouTube videos, and I was just trying to understand what this whole Bitcoin was about and the volatility behind it. And I didn't actually invest in really any of it. I didn't really touch the asset at all in 2018, and then I revisited it back in early 2019, and I'll never forget it. It was actually April Fool's Day. The price had actually went down all the way down to $4,000, and I told Vidi, I said, look, I think this Bitcoin, this was the bottom. This is it. It's going to go back up. And she said, hell no. She said, you've already lost a couple $100 in it. We're not going to put any more money in it. So I said, look, if by the next day, April 1st, so this would be April 2nd, it goes up $1,000, can I get a whole one? And she said, in confidence, she was like, yes. Because she knew that it wasn't going to go up in 1,000, but I knew that it was going to go up 1,000. And at the time, I didn't even know technical analysis. I was just on Reddit, and I just knew that was sort of the what was going to happen. Something big was going to happen, some big news. And so that night, I woke up like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was $4,500. And I went back to sleep, woke up again at about 5 a.m. It was $4,888. I woke up Vidi at like 5:14, and I said, babe, it's about to hit the $1,000 mark. Can I get a whole one? She said yes. So I got a whole one. Boom. It went up 6,000, or I'm sorry, went to $6,000. I ended up getting a couple more during that same time frame, and ended up selling it there at that peak time around $10,000 to $12,000, and made a pretty good profit. And but I still wasn't convinced of the asset. I made some pretty good profit, but I wasn't convinced of what actually I was doing. I just knew that it was going to go up, and I felt pretty strongly that it was just going to go back down. So so my story is really to let you guys know that if I was really convicted as I am today, I would have just held on. I wouldn't have sold, because now each whole Bitcoin is $50,000. That would have made me a lot of money. Now I do have some Bitcoin, but the thing is it cost me a whole lot more than it did in 2019, 2019. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this is an asset that is going to be here long term, forever, and it will go up. Now it'll be very volatile. It'll go back down. It'll go back up. I'll give you guys some fundamentals and some technical analysis of it. But if it ever went down under $20,000 again, I'm buying more, guys. I'm buying more. I am convicted. I am convinced that this is an asset that will be here forever, and it will continue to go up. I tell you guys this story because you guys might experience something very similar. Here I am. I get on this video and I'm telling you about my first investment, which, by the way, I am not a financial advisor, nor am I giving financial advice. The risk is on you, as I told you on my first the video that I made the introduction on. So I think that you guys might experience something very similar. Heck, this week it could go up, or it could go down. If it does, buy some. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. Start off like how I did. Everybody is going to have a story, and at some point you'll be convinced and convicted of what this asset is. I think it should be a part of your portfolio, as it is mine, outside of real estate and whole life insurance, and some other things that we'll talk about in some later videos. But Bitcoin is a part of my portfolio and will be a part of my portfolio forever, and because of the belief that I have in this asset. So anyway, so that's my story, guys. Again, on the next video we will share more about the fundamentals of Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin, how to actually get into Bitcoin, and also, that's pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. So that's my story. Definitely appreciate it if you give it a like, comment in the YouTube video if you can. It'll help increase awareness of Bitcoin and of my story, help me get out there a little bit. Hope you liked it, and again, the next video will be about more about the fundamentals of Bitcoin, what it is, how to invest in it, just a little bit more info on Bitcoin. This is just my story, but hope you enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for the next video. Thanks, guys.